Amara never imagined that love could turn bitter so fast. Welcome to Tales by Steph, a home of interesting African stories. For 2 years, she and Raymond were like those couples people admired on the street. He worked in a logistics company in IKEA. She worked at a bakery. They laughed easily, fought rarely, and dreamed together of starting a small food business someday. Then, one random Thursday night, her piece ended with a single message. It was 11:46 p.m. Amara was lying on her bed after a long day at the bakery when Raymond's phone, charging beside her, lit up. She didn't mean to check, but curiosity is a stubborn thing. The message read, "Did you get home safe?" I was worried it was from someone saved as Ray. Her heart froze. That red heart broke her in half. "Who is Ray?" she whispered to herself, her eyes stinging. The text didn't look like something innocent. Why would a woman worry about him getting home? That night she didn't sleep. She stared at the ceiling until morning, playing every memory of them together in her mind. Every laugh, every hug, every time he said, "You're my only one." All those moments now felt like lies. The next day at the bakery, she messed up 3 batches of bread. Madame Ifeoma scolded her. "Amara, your mind is not here." "What's wrong with you?" Amara just shook her head. She couldn't talk. She didn't even taste the sugar she added to the dough. When Raymond came to pick her up after work, his usual smile made her angry. "Hey, my baker girl," he said, kissing her cheek. She forced a smile back, but her stomach churned. Inside the car, she asked quietly, "Who's Ray?" Raymond looked confused. "Ray? Oh, that's one of our new PR partners. She helps promote the company online." "Why?" Amara stared at him. "So she's just a business partner?" "Yes," he said, laughing. "You don't trust me again?" He reached for her hand, but she pulled it away. "I do," she said flatly. But she didn't. That evening, after he dropped her off, she opened Instagram and searched Ray. The first account she saw was a fair-skinned lady with curly hair and perfect makeup. Her bio said, "Brand influencer, Lagos PR girl, hashtag Team Swift Logistics." Amara's heart sank. Raymond worked at Swift Logistics. She clicked Ray's story. There it was, a picture of a restaurant table with 2 glasses of wine, and the caption, "Dinner after a long day. I'm proud of you, R." Amara's hands trembled. "Proud of you, R." Her R? Her Raymond? She threw her phone on the bed and burst into tears. Her chest burned as if fire was eating her heart from inside. She screamed into her pillow until her voice cracked. The pain turned into something darker. If he could cheat, he deserved whatever came to him. The next morning, Amara ignored his calls. She spent the whole day planning what to do. Every time she thought of his face, her anger grew. In the afternoon, he sent a message. "Greater than I know you're upset. Please, can we talk tomorrow? I'll come to your place." She typed back, "Yes. Come, I'll cook for you." That night, she went to the small shop near her street and bought everything she needed for his favorite meal, jollof rice with fried chicken and cold malt. But she also opened her drawer and brought out a small bottle her neighbor once gave her, something she called sleeping drops. Amara stared at it for a long time. "Just a few drops," she whispered, "so he can relax and tell me the truth." Her heart beat fast as she hid the bottle in the kitchen cabinet. She tried to convince herself she wasn't doing anything bad. She just wanted him to be weak enough to confess if he was lying. By evening, she dressed nicely in a simple Ankara gown. Her hair was neatly tied. She even put on light makeup. When Raymond arrived, he smiled like always and handed her a small gift bag. "I got you something," he said softly. Inside was a new apron with her name embroidered on it. "Amara's kitchen," she smiled painfully. "You're too sweet," she said, forcing cheerfulness. "Sit down. I made your favorite, The sweet smell of jollof filled the small room. Raymond washed his hands, sat, and began to eat. "Wow," he said between bites. "This is amazing." "You've outdone yourself." Amara smiled faintly. Her heart pounded so hard she could feel it in her throat. Her eyes kept shifting toward the kitchen counter, where the little bottle sat beside the cooker. She excused herself, walked in slowly, and stood staring at it again. Her hand trembled as she held it. "Just a few drops," she whispered again. "He'll just sleep. Then he'll tell me everything." But her heart knew it was a lie. When she returned to the table, she poured juice into his glass and stirred it lightly. Raymond looked up. "You okay?" "Yes," she said, smiling tightly. "Just tired." He took the glass, raised it toward her playfully, and drank deeply. Amara's breath caught. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then Raymond's smile faded. He touched his chest. "Amara, what's in this drink?" Her hand flew to her mouth. It's just juice." But inside, she felt something breaking, something she could never fix again. Raymond coughed once, then twice. The plate of jollof rice shook in his hand. "Amara," he said weakly, "my chest is burning." Amara froze. The spoon dropped from her hand and hit the floor. "What?" "No, no, you're fine. It's just the pepper," she said quickly, trying to sound calm. But her voice was shaking and her heart raced like it wanted to escape her body. Raymond gasped again and pushed his chair back. His face had gone pale. He tried to stand but stumbled and fell against the table. The plate shattered. "Amara," he whispered, his voice faint, "what did you put in my drink?" Tears filled her eyes. "I just wanted you to tell me the truth," she cried, running to his side. He was sweating, struggling to breathe. "Amara, I didn't cheat," he said between short breaths. "Then who is Ray?" she screamed. She's married," he managed to say. "She works for the company. PR team. She helped us win a deal." Amara's stomach twisted. She felt cold all over. She grabbed his phone from the table, opened his WhatsApp, and scrolled through Ray's chat. The messages were professional, work updates, event reminders, schedules. Not a single romantic word. Then she saw the last message. Greater than, "Did you get home safe? I was worried because you drove while tired. Thanks again for helping with the proposal." Amara's eyes blurred. The truth hit her like a slap. She had poisoned an innocent man. "No! No, no, no!" she screamed, shaking him. Raymond's body went limp. His breathing slowed. "Please, wake up." "Raymond, I'm sorry. Please." She ran to the sink, filled a cup with water, and tried to pour it into his mouth, but it only spilled down his shirt. "God, what have I done?" she cried, grabbing her phone with trembling hands. She dialed 911, then remembered she was in Nigeria. She quickly called a neighbor. "Please help me, my boyfriend, he's not breathing." Within minutes, the neighbor and two men rushed in. They carried Raymond to a taxi and sped to the nearest hospital. Amara sat beside him, crying uncontrollably, whispering, "Please don't die, please don't die." At the hospital, nurses rushed him inside. "Madam, what happened?" one nurse asked. Amara couldn't speak. Her lips moved, but no sound came. They made her sit down as they treated him. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, a doctor came out, face serious. "Are you the girlfriend?" he asked. Amara nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "He was poisoned," the doctor said. "We were able to flush most of it out. He's lucky you brought him in quickly." Amara collapsed to the floor in relief and guilt. "Can I see him?" she begged. "Not yet," the doctor said. "He's unconscious, but he'll survive." She covered her face with both hands and sobbed. The hospital smell mixed with her fear. Her heart felt heavier than a mountain. She didn't even notice when the police arrived. A female officer touched her shoulder. "Madam, you need to come with us." The hospital reported a poisoning case. You'll have to explain what happened. Amara nodded slowly, too weak to argue. At the station, she sat on a wooden chair, shaking. The officer asked, "Did you poison him on purpose?" "I swear I didn't mean to kill him," she said softly. "I only wanted him to tell me the truth." The officer sighed. "That's what everyone says." But poison is poison. They took her statement and kept her overnight. She didn't sleep. She replayed every moment, the message, the hug, the drink, and hated herself for every second of it. The next morning, her mother arrived crying. "Amara, my daughter, what have you done?" Amara buried her face in her hands. "Mama, I didn't want to kill him. I thought he was cheating." Later that day, the doctor called the police. "Good news," he said. "The man is awake." Amara burst into tears again, this time of relief. "Can I see him?" she begged. The officer agreed, but warned, "You'll still have to face the law." At the hospital, she entered the ward slowly. Raymond was lying on the bed, pale and weak, with a drip in his arm. When he saw her, he turned his face away. "Raymond, please," she cried, kneeling beside him. "I'm sorry. I thought you were lying to me. I didn't mean—" "Stop," he said weakly. "You almost killed me." His words stabbed her. "I love you," she said, sobbing. "I lost control." He looked at her with tired eyes. "Love doesn't do this, Amara. This isn't love." She reached for his hand, but he pulled it away. "Please forgive me," she whispered. "I'll live," he said quietly. "But I don't think I can ever trust you again." Her chest broke open. The nurse gently touched her shoulder. "Madam, time's up." Amara stood slowly, wiped her tears, and walked out of the room like a shadow. That night, she was taken back to the police station to await her court hearing. She sat in the corner of the cold cell and whispered to herself, "If only I had trusted him. If only I waited to hear the truth." But it was too late. The damage was done. The news spread faster than Amara ever imagined. By the second day, neighbors were whispering, "That bakery girl poisoned her boyfriend. She almost killed him because of jealousy." Even Madame Ifeoma, her boss, couldn't defend her. "Ah, Amara, I trusted you," she said when she came to visit. "How could you do something like that?" "Over a man?" Amara sat on the small wooden bench in the police cell, head bent. Her eyes were swollen from crying. She had not eaten for 2 days. Every sound from the hallway made her jump, hoping it was news about Raymond. The next morning, the officer opened the cell. "Your bail's been approved," he said. "The man you poisoned, Raymond, signed it himself." Amara looked up sharply. He did?" "Yes, you can go home. But your court date is next week." Tears rolled down her cheeks again, but this time they were mixed with confusion. Why would he help her after everything she'd done? Outside, her mother waited with food in a nylon bag. She hugged Amara tightly. "You need to thank God. That boy has a good heart," her mother said. Amara nodded weakly. "I don't deserve him." That evening, she went to Raymond's house. He was sitting on the veranda, a blanket over his legs. He looked thinner, tired, but alive. When he saw her, he didn't smile. She stood a few feet away, clutching her hands. "I came to thank you," she said quietly. He looked up. "For what?" "For signing my bail." Raymond sighed. "I didn't do it for you. I did it because I didn't want your life to end in a cell. We both need to heal." Amara's lips trembled. "I'm sorry, Raymond. I let jealousy control me. I thought losing you would kill me, but now I know hurting you kills me even more." He looked at her for a long moment. His eyes were full of pain. "Amara, do you know what it feels like to be poisoned by the person you love?" She looked down, tears falling silently. "I think about it every minute," she said. "If I could take it back, I would." For the first time, Raymond's voice softened. I believe you regret it, but love without trust is dangerous. I can't go back to how things were. Amara nodded slowly. I understand. I don't even expect you to. She turned to leave, but Raymond said, Wait. She stopped. Get help, he said. Talk to someone. Promise me you'll never let anger lead you again. She wiped her eyes. I promise. He gave a weak nod. Goodbye, Amara. Goodbye, Raymond. That night, Amara sat alone in her small room. The bread he once gave her was still in a plastic bag on the table, stale now, but she couldn't throw it away. It reminded her of the love she destroyed with her own hands. The following week in court, the judge looked through her file. Raymond had already written a statement saying he didn't want to press charges, but the court still gave her 6 months of community service for reckless endangerment. It could have been worse. It could have been life in prison. When she walked out of the courthouse, the sun hit her face. She felt both free and broken at the same time. Her mother hugged her again and said, This is your second chance. Don't waste it, Amara nodded. I won't. I'll change, and she meant it. Weeks passed. She started working quietly in a new bakery, far from her old area. She spoke little, smiled rarely, and prayed every night for peace. One evening, as she was about to close the shop, a delivery bike stopped in front. The rider handed her a small brown envelope. She opened it slowly. Inside was a short note. Amara, I'm moving abroad next month to start afresh. I forgive you. Please forgive yourself too. Raymond. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were not tears of pain. They were tears of release. She pressed the note to her chest and whispered, Thank you. As the sun set, she looked up at the sky and said softly, Never again will I let suspicion destroy what love built. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.